Michelle Clark, founder and CEO of Sunset Sessions and Michelle Clark Entertainment. I used to do independent radio promotion, and my company was Michelle Clark Promotion, and that's when I started Sunset Sessions as just kind of a vehicle to get the stations that I was working to see the artists I was working them to. 16 years ago this month. So this is Sunset Sessions number 19 in 16 years. We have launched or helped launch through the Black Keys and most recently Fun last February. And Jason Mraz, Jack Johnson, Five for Fighting, Ryan Adams, Pete Yorn, Zach Brown Band. I like to have a really great mixture of new up-and-coming bands. You know, when the Black Keys played in a ballroom at a late-night lounge, there were maybe 50 people there and no one had ever heard them. And even when Fun played last February, no one had ever heard them. And so that's pretty exciting when they go from 0 to 60 or 0 to the Grammys. Sunset Sessions to the Grammys within a year. That makes me very happy. What I saw as an indie promo person was I kept going to all these other conventions, and I would see my clients, the labels or the managers, the artists, try to get a spot, you know, at that convention to expose their artists, and no one would come. The radio guys mostly were pulled in 15 different directions, and there was another band playing next door, or their consultant was taking them out to dinner, or some big major label was taking all the big guys out to dinner. And we never got to showcase the artists, which is all they ever wanted. And so I had the idea that if I picked a beautiful location and I flew the radio stations in, and in exchange for flying them in, we took roll call at the shows. So covering your air in your hotel, but you're coming to listen to the band. And you don't have to play anything. You just have to come with open ears and an open heart and listen to the bands. They just want you to hear them. They want you to give them that 20 minutes of attention. And the station said, great, well, that sounds like a deal to us. And we expanded that since to include music supervisors. So I bring the radio programmers from across the country, music supervisors from film, television, video games, commercials. And this year, for the first time, we have a TV booker. So now we're expanding to also bring the people that, you know, book late night television. And so we bring them all in, and we have bands play for them all weekend. And so magic happens. So if you go to sunsetsessions.org, which is our website, there's, you know, we have 2 events a year. There's the AAA Sunset Sessions, which is in February right now every year, and Sunset Sessions Rock, which is in June. The AAA one is for the AAA radio format, so that's more singer-songwriter-ish, but also a lot of pop bands, and alternative shares a lot with AAA these days. And the Rock one is more rock and alternative, active rock and alternative. And so when the submission opens, like right now, submissions open for Sunset Sessions Rock in June, go on the website, there's a PDF that says band submission and information packet or something. It's got all the different types of categories, the spots. I try to have like really affordable entry-level spots up to the big 30-minute full band main stage attendance, and they submit their music. And if I think that either if I fall in love with it or my staff does, or even if I think that anybody that comes would like it, so sometimes that's not the same thing, then I'll give them a spot, you know, or so they can, you know, pay for a spot. And that's, the spots range from like $2,000 to $8,000, you know, and that's all the money that I take to pay for the 100 plane tickets and 100 hotel rooms and all the production and all the food that it takes to gather all these people and keep them in the room, you know. And we do, if I could, I would handcuff them to the tables and put duct tape on their mouths, you know, if they would let me, you know. Everything is designed to make it very comfortable and easy for them to stay and just enjoy the music. Well, we have our Twitter screens, our Twitter feeds, which are really cool. that actually with the La Costa Resort and Spa, it was their idea to have Twitter feeds. We have these live Twitter screens on both sides of the stage, and we do the Twitter cards, for each night, and we have each of the bands' handles, and so everybody, I think the Recording Academy created their Twitter account. Hopefully I'm right, Daniel, right? Because they came and we had the Twitter screens up and the Twitter cards, and they created their Twitter account so they could interact with us and everybody else that was on stage. And people are talking to each other, and the bands are backstage tweeting, and the radio programmers are tweeting to each other, and so we're all getting socially active and linking and Instagramming and in that way. And was that your question? And then we have panels, throughout the day which integrate the different sects, because the radio programmers and the music supervisors, they don't ever intersect otherwise. The data from each is used against each other all the time. So when people are working a music supervisor, they'll say, oh, it's top 10 at AAA, and vice versa. It's on Grey's Anatomy next week, and so the information is used. But they don't really hang out. They used to come, they would come, and the radio guys would sit on that side of the room, and the music supervisors would sit on the other side of the room. So I create panels designed to make them connect with each other. So even our kickoff panel, the very first panel that we have on Thursday, is called the Passion Panel, and it's like speed dating. So we have 10 tables of 10, and every 10 minutes everybody changes tables and there's questions, and it's, it's speed dating but cool. And everybody gets to meet face to face. So then you'll say, oh, that's the program director from KFOG. Oh, that's the woman that does music supervision for Fox Sports, and that's the lead singer from the Parlotones, and everybody gets to meet. So we really do everything we can to make sure people connect on a human level and then connect socially. And constantly linking and tweeting and Instagramming, and as best as we can anyway, we try. We had our first ever songwriters retreat, the alumni songwriters retreat, which was really cool. So we just had this mansion in Las Vegas that this guy gave us for cost, and I invited alumni, and I think 18 came. 18 alumni writers showed up, and for 3 days and nights they wrote together, and they walked away with 7 or 8 songs each. And there was a school that came on site and set up a studio so they could record their demos, and they formed a really great bond. So I'll do more songwriters retreats. And then I also put together the first ever Sunset Sessions tour. And so that was 4 bands that went on the road together, and they shared resources. So they shared a tour bus and a tour manager and a merch girl. Who knows? I don't know. We just kind of figure out stuff that feels right, that helps artists and that helps the industry, and I do it. I saw an interview with Richard Branson the other day, and he said, just look for things that are not being done yet or not being done well yet, and do them. And if you do them for the right reasons, then you hope at the end of the year more money came in than went out, and then you do it again. And that's what I do. I want to take this moment to thank the Academy. I want to seriously thank you guys, though, because when you come and you interview these artists, that just shows your commitment to the artists, and these are baby bands, and some of them they've never played something like this. They would never have access to you or to these radio stations or music supervisors or managers or labels or press. Entertainment Tonight is here this time as well, and NBC and KFOG, and for you guys to interview them and for them to sit in front of your logos and talk to you and learn about the Academy, that inspires them. Then it's possible that could be them, and the fact that you guys take so much time and energy and attention to do that is just so commendable, especially right after the Grammys. You're here and working your butts off. I just think you're awesome, and it's so refreshing to see another entity or group that's as dedicated to new music and new artists as I am and as you are. And so thank you.